Hello friends, welcome back to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. Thank you for joining me today. I am doing this quilt one block at a time, friends. I am doing my Jolly Bar Fleur de Paris. It's the Marie Antoinette pattern that was in the Fleur de Paris Jolly Bar. And friends, what I've done, I've gone on and put all my pieces on my design board here. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to follow the steps. It looks like we do the first row of each block. There's 4 blocks and each block has 4 pieces. So once we get the top 2 of each block done, we will then do the bottom 2 of each block. So one moment, let me get all my pieces here ready to go. Okay, so I have my 8 blocks over here. They're kind of laid together so I don't mix them up. And friends, I just kind of want to give you a forewarning just in case this happens. If I have to end the video in the middle because my husband has come in here, it is because my daughter has my CGM app on her phone. I've already had her and my oldest and youngest daughter threatening to come and take me to the emergency room because my blood sugar went over 400. Well, my husband did not sit the chicken out like I asked, and he was in town and just grabbed some Captain D's. Well, friends, that did not turn out well, obviously. So I told my husband, I said, we cannot eat this anymore, because he has blood sugar issues, even though he doesn't like to admit it, he does. So if the video is ended prematurely, that is why. But whatever I get done, I will get done, and hopefully I get it all done. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. As of the time of me sitting down, my glucose was down to 373. But my oldest daughter is a pharmacist, and she was calling me by my given name, and whew, she's like, Mama, we just do this because we're worried about you. Well, I'm worried too, or I wouldn't have told one of them. I know better. But now my youngest daughter is able to monitor it. And she has alarms set on hers as well. But I do have a referral into our diabetic center, or I just told them I wanted an endocrinologist, and they said, well, the diabetic center was the best one, the one that they got the most results out of. I want an endocrinologist. I want somebody that can test it and try to figure out what the problem is. I mean, is it my pancreas? Am I insulin resistant? Is it my kidneys and liver? Why? That's what I need to know, is why. Because if I know why, I can then start working on the problem. But I mean, I know better than to eat sugar. I know better than to eat carbs and starches. But tell me, please tell me, who's going to go without eating any of that for the rest of their life? No one. Okay, what I'm going to do now is trim these apart. I'm going to keep them in order here so I can press them and get them back on my design wall, and I'll be right back. Okay, friends, I have those back on my design wall, and I have the bottom rows now. This goes a lot quicker if you lay your block out how you want it to go. Because before I wasn't doing that, and it was taking me an hour to do a block, which we're only doing one block tonight. We're doing this, getting it done one block at a time, friends. One block at a time. If you only have 15 minutes in your sewing room, if you have multiple design boards, lay you out several blocks, take one day and do your design boards, and then, if you got 15 minutes the next day, go in and sew all the top rows, and it didn't take me a full 15 minutes to do that. Maybe you can sew your 4 blocks together, it's in 15 minutes. $15 minutes a day. Boy, if that's all it takes to be happy, I'll take that 15 minutes every day. Every day. But what we're doing now is the bottom 2 blocks, or bottom 2 squares to make a block. On each block, well, the bottom 2 will make a row for the bottom of the block. We have 4 blocks that we're making to make the large block. I hope I'm doing these right, y'all. I really hope I didn't twist these around. But if I did, I will know it real quick like. Real quick like. That's the only thing with these. It's so easy, friends, to get them all mixed up. So, friends, how are you doing today? It is our Whip It Wednesday. Some people call it Hump Day. To me, it's my Thursday. It's my Friday Eve. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is lay these down and press them, and we will be right back. Okay, friends, I have them all over here on the board now. The top and bottom rows of each piece is done. So let's see if that looks correct. It does. I am going to start by taking the first block off and sewing the top and bottom row on it together. What I'll do is I'll pin it on both ends. Oh my goodness, I just poked myself. It's not like I ain't just poked my finger 20 times, because we were checking the accuracy of my CGM, which it's 50 off. It's actually showing 50 more than what my actual finger prick is showing. And my oldest daughter, being the pharmacist, she's like, you need to call them and tell them it's inaccurate, that it's reading 50 off, and tell them you need an override code, or they need to send you another one. So I'm probably going to do that, because I don't have any more CGMs to do that with. Okay, so this is block 1. I didn't have to do this. Didn't have to take it off, but I did. So here comes block 2, and they're both pressed the same direction, even though I tried to press them opposite directions. Somehow I got that all messed up. That's okay. I'll just pin at both ends here, and I'll just make sure that side goes the opposite direction. We're getting this top row of our second block done. Okay, now we're on to our third block. Y'all, it works really fast. If you do, I would have done this a long time ago had I known that if I did it on a design wall, it would make it go this much quicker, because it takes all the guesswork out. All you got to do is pull down the ones you got to sew. My goodness. Why didn't somebody tell me this? I bet you all were wondering why I wasn't doing it already, weren't you? Because I learned from the school of hard knocks, apparently. Stubbornness and hard-headedness is welcome, y'all. Apparently. Okay, so here we are on our last block. So once I get this one sewn, I am going to lay it over here and press them out, friends. So one moment and I will be right back, friends. It's only taken me 20 minutes to get this far. That is not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, friends, I have the four blocks done. So now what I'm doing, I have them on my design wall. I've made sure, I think it takes longer to make sure I'm pressing it where the center seams are alternating than it does doing the whole thing. The sewing part. But friends, I'm trying to speed up now because my monitor is going off and I don't want to mess with it right now. I don't want to get up. I'm sewing. I don't want to get up. But as long as it's not going up, I'm okay. If my husband walks in here, that means it's going up. But so now we have the top row of the 2-row part of the block. I'm going to flip over this third row, the second piece for the second row. The second block for the second row. Friends, this Jolly Bar quilt, it makes for a fabulous easy sew, because there's nothing hard about it. If you put your fabrics over on a design wall and just sew them how the pattern tells you to sew them, because really with all of the ironing and everything, I like to kind of tell y'all how long it takes me to sew something, because not everyone is a fast sewist, and I'm not either. So if you like taking your time and pinning your pieces, like I said, right now we're running less than 30 minutes. And that is with the pressing and everything. So see here, I'm done with the 2 rows, the top and bottom row. So my block is just about done. And what I'll do is I'll check to see which one is the top and which one is the bottom. And I think what I'm going to do is just make sure I press both of them to the dark, and that will make them alternate. So one moment, friends, we'll be right back. Okay, friends, the 2, let's see, these seams I don't have correct, but it's going to be okay. I know how to put my thumbnail in there and put a pin in the seam. That works just as good. But I made sure that center seam is nesting because it's got a lot of thickness right there. And I pin, friends. Okay. So, friends, we have our last two pieces, this is our top and bottom row, which each row consists of 2 blocks. So now we have the 4 blocks, which is making the 1 block. Does that make sense, or did I just talk in a circle for you? So once I get this done, I will press it out and show you guys our big block here. So one moment and I'll be right back. Okay friends, here is our next block on the Marie Antoinette. This pattern did come in the Jolly Bar for Paris de France collection. I think that's what it's called. This is a French General line of fabric. Fleur de Paris collection, friends. So thank you for joining me just for the chit chat and just the sewing. I hope you got to sew probably for the 15-20 minutes that we sewed here tonight. But friends, give me a thumbs up before you head out. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Subscribe if you have not yet. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, friends.